My whole life, I always knew I was special. Even with no remainders, I could always move a decimal. Money on my mind while the girls that made un beso. Hustlers in my blood and it's running through my vessels. Just trying to clear the threshold, just trying to make a way. In my race against time, I could see an early grave. School to prison pipeline, 12 years a slave. Suspension and detention is conditioned for a cage.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is, do you believe that Tyson Fury is going to retire? Now, he said he's going to retire, which is part of the reason why he brought Ngannou in the ring. And here we're going to take a look at what he had to say. Now, this is from Michael Benson's Twitter account, which is courtesy of BT
Sport these
Box.
guys, yo. I'm sorry, bro. Always taking off his shirt, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yo, Ned is feeling this, though. I can already tell Ned is feeling Yo. All right, Ray, let's listen to what Fury had to say about retiring. Yes.
By the way, I do take a lot of pride in this, and I know pride's not the best thing to be, but very proud of. I've won 2 English titles, 2 British titles, 2 Commonwealth titles, the Irish title, the European title, WBO Intercontinental, WBO International, WBO Super, WBA Super, IBF, IBO, Ring Magazine, Lineal, WBC, WBC Mayan, WBC Global. I've won every belt there is to win. There isn't nothing more I can do. I've won every belt in the game. If this was a computer game, it would definitely be completed, for sure. By the way,
all right. So that's what he had to say. He's won every belt you can possibly win. If it was a computer game, he would have completed it already. And so he's done everything you can do in the sport. So he's retiring. I'm going to turn it over to Nostradamus. What's your reaction to that? And do you believe Fury's going to retire?
I'm not gonna do it again.
Hey, do it as long as you think it applies. You know, as long as it applies. Politely tip the cap.
Hey, listen,
tip the cap. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. It's too much. It's too much going on right now. I don't see it. Even though I was like, I was flirting with the idea before. If y'all been watching Boxing Bros, I said Fury's the type to mess around and not even give Dillian White a shot. You know, he'll probably retire after he beat Wilder. You know, but he didn't. And this is what I've been saying about Tyson Fury. He is a different fighter. He's a different fighter than the guy that fought Klitschko. This is a different fighter. My brother was alluding to the episode before. About when he fought Deontay Wilder and he got with Sugar Hill in that style. And we've seen that style transcend to this fight with Dillian White, how he is coming forward on and he's standing his ground and he's punching with something behind it, you know. And with this new Tyson Fury, I think he has more in the tank, and I know he has more in the tank. And I remember hearing something that his lovely wife Paris said, that she knows for sure that her husband wants to fight AJ, you know, and that he can be AJ. So I think that Tyson Fury is going to fight on because he's a fighting man. And I think that we got a couple more fights out of him. And I think that he's just Josh.
All right, conspiracy.
I mean, is he going to retire? I will say yes, in the sense of when Jay-Z said he was going to retire. You know what I'm saying? Like, he retire all the time, but, you know, they always find a way to come back. So, yeah, I definitely think that, like, Fury has to just go for undisputed. It just doesn't make sense to just leave that up there. If you really believe you're the best, you know, and not to mention, one thing I will give the Gypsies, they do seem like an honorable type of people when it comes to fighting. And so I don't even think his family will allow him to just stop right now. Like, when he's just one fight away from being crowned the greatest heavyweight champion of this era. So I don't believe him. You know, I really don't believe this dude. I think what's going to happen is he's probably going to use it as a gimmick to probably get more money. You know, like, I'm retired, this and third, and then when AJ or Usyk wins, whatever, then when the negotiation happens, out of nowhere, I'm coming back just for this one fight. It's all marketing, man. So but I do believe I will see Tyson Fury retire after that fight, after Undisputed. But as of right now, yeah, he might be saying he's retiring, but it's like a fake retirement. It's a marketing ploy. That's in my honest opinion.
Marketing retirement.
Yeah.
What is it?
Go ahead, brother.
What is it? I don't really believe anything that comes out of Tyson Fury's mouth anymore because he's the type of guy to say one thing and do the other. And you know, he's just what he says is not very believable at times. Except when he said he was gonna knock out Deontay Wilder, I supported that 100% both fights. Yeah, but but yeah, watch your G, get out your feelings. But yeah, is he retiring from boxing? No. Is he taking a break? I think he's gonna take a break, and if that Ngannou fight happens, it's an exhibition. It's not even gonna be a boxing match. And with a winner AJ Usyk, we're gonna see them probably end of 2022 or early 2023. So,
That's another thing too. What happens to the belt, the WBC belt, if he retires?
He has to be inactive for a certain amount of time. Like, trust me, man.
So this is cap.
I don't think anyone's buying it yet. So it's not like they're instantly gonna remove like the belt. He's gonna have more time. He's gonna have a certain amount of time, and even then, they probably wouldn't even strip him of the belt. They would probably just make him like champion in recess, like, So I don't know, but all right, I'll say this real quick. What he said about having all the belts. So if he was a video game, he would have completed the game. That's not necessarily true, Tyson, because in this video game, you don't win until you have all the belts at one time.
Exactly.
So it's not enough that at one point you had this belt, and that belt, and then you end up winning all the belts you could win. Because in this game, what matters is if you held all those belts at the same time. That's what makes you win. That's what makes it complete. See, Tyson Fury, until you have all the belts, there's always going to be a dispute. That's why they call it undisputed. And you look at the greatest heavyweights that ever lived, they were undisputed at some point in time. Mike Tyson was undisputed. Lennox Lewis was undisputed. Evander Holyfield was undisputed. Big Daddy Riddick Bowe was undisputed. I'm going to tell you a guy who was never undisputed, Tyson Fury. And if you watch this show by now, you know how much I like Tyson Fury. I can see the people writing in the comment section now that Caden's hating on Tyson Fury. No, Caden's telling the truth to Tyson Fury, which is something completely different. See, I can like Tyson Fury and tell Tyson Fury the truth. Because that's what I do to people. Well, that's what I do with people I like. I actually tell them the truth because I like them, because I care about them, and I don't want them having a false sense. You see, you got Sugar Hill Stewart. Sugar Hill Stewart needs Tyson Fury to survive, in a sense. Frank Warren needs Tyson Fury to survive, in a sense. Right? That's why at Boxing Bros, we don't like build our channel on fighters and interviews and stuff like that, because we want to be able to tell the truth. See, I really like Fury. If I knew Fury and Fury was coming on this show and my views were based on Fury coming on this show, I wouldn't say what I'm saying right now, which is no, you haven't completed the game. You're close. You've gotten you on the last stage, you know what I'm saying? Like you on the last boss you to complete the game. All you got to do is beat Bison now. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is beat Goro now. Like you on the last boss, but like you haven't completed the game. The game is complete when you have all the titles at one time. And yeah, you've been really good at this game, but you haven't completed it yet. Lennox Lewis completed it. Mike Tyson completed it. Evander Holyfield completed it. Big Daddy Riddick Bowe completed it. Those brothers completed it. You haven't. And so there lies the point. If you want to be, the all-time great, you have to do that. And if you don't do that, yeah, you could say you were the lineal, right? But even then, we all know Lennox Lewis retired. 2004, he retired. People didn't take that status from him. So, and Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko were brothers, so they never wanted to fight each other to determine who was actually the better fighter. So people just said, oh, well, we're going to put it on this fight with Vladimir Klitschko. because we think he's better. So until we have undisputed, there will always be a debate, and there'll never be an answer to the question until you get all the belts, or until someone gets all the belts. There's always going to be a dispute. So sorry, my man, you haven't done everything. You haven't completed the game. There's still one more level, and I'm with everyone else. I don't believe Fury's going to retire so close to completing that level and leave all the money that comes with it.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.